Morning, everyone. Thanks for joining the Knockout Opioid Abuse Day webinar. We're going to get started. I have Angela Conover with me, and without any further delay, here's Angela.
Good morning, all. Welcome, and thank you for joining the 2019 Knockout Opioid Abuse Day kickoff webinar. I can't believe we're in our fourth year of this initiative already. It's so exciting the way that it has expanded and how so many of you have taken ownership of this idea and really run with it in what best suits your community. So I'm so glad. I'm so glad to welcome back those of you who have participated in the past. And I'm also so pleased to welcome those of you who have not participated before and are new to raising awareness through Knockout Opioid Abuse Day. So again, for those of you who aren't familiar, I want to give you an overview of the day. Again, 4 years ago, the Partnership for a Drug-Free New Jersey came together with the Community Coalition for a Safe and Healthy Morris in cooperation. We also collaborating with the Department of Human Services, Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services, and of course, the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse. We all came together to create this idea as equal partners with the Partnership for a Drug-Free New Jersey, kind of taking the lead on this initiative to really spread awareness about the opioid crisis that is impacting our state so significantly. Once again, October 6th, 2019 has been designated Knockout Opioid Abuse Day in New Jersey. Governor Murphy actually signed the legislation this year mandating that October 6th be the day. I am aware it falls on a Sunday this year. So while it's a statewide single day initiative to mobilize the prevention, treatment, communities, as well as community leaders and advocates, as well, as concerned citizens and those of us who've been impacted and those of us who just want to make a difference, to help raise awareness of the potential for dependency on prescribed pain medicine, the link to heroin abuse rates in the state, and basically the opioid crisis as it is impacting so many of our residents. Once again, as in the past, the mobilization will have a dual focus. We'll work with educating physicians through raising awareness about safer prescribing, and we'll go into that a little bit more into some more specific details as we go along in the presentation, but also with raising awareness among New Jersey citizens, families, our youth, parents, anyone who we feel needs to hear this message, and we know that's everyone in our state. So first, when it comes to raising awareness, we have Knockout Opioid Abuse Day materials that are once again going to be made available to you. I'm going to go through what some of those are, and then Rebecca and Barbara are going to jump in to talk about some of the other best practice that exist or things that they've done to get involved and for their agencies to lead the way. You'll see that we have some new materials. We did listen and have some Spanish language materials available this year that we haven't had in the past. And we'll have materials that are available, including the prescriber guides, some information from the CDC, as well as our door hangers. The door hangers can be used to hang on the door or to hand out in many different ways. We also have the online digital toolkit, and we'll go into that in more detail. But the idea behind giving you all of these resources is that we want to make as much available for our volunteers as possible. We've had more than 10,000 volunteers across New Jersey participate over the past 2 years. Both years we had reached that 10,000 number. So we're really excited about giving you everything that you need to make Knockout Opioid Abuse Day a success within your community. I know that we had some really strong participation in many communities, a few of them which I've mentioned here on this slide, in Garfield, in Roselle, in South Amboy, in Vineland, and down in Cumberland County. That's just to name a few. And Matt Birchenough, which those of you who participated last year know well, And those of you who are new is our a special projects coordinator or director of special projects. He's going to talk a little bit about what some of those look like, but I also invite you to raise your hand if you want to share during this webinar or to send your success story to pdfnj@drugfreenj.org. And we're going to share that in a weekly email blast to all of you, giving some ideas to others about how they can participate and get the most interaction within their community. But right now I'm going to turn this over to Matt. Matt?
Thank you, Angela. And good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate, again, being part of this. Yeah, just to go through some of these successful efforts that we've had the last few years. As Angela mentioned, the listed towns here have done really a tremendous job. Some was their first year last year. Garfield, for example, had been involved in the previous 2 years. Just to go over what Garfield had done last year, they had a great team effort between the police, the high school. Some students were able to get out of class and go up and down the streets with the door hangers, with the police sort of coordinating that. Just a really fantastic just teamwork across all different sorts of communities and programs within the town. They had Congressman Pasquale was there to deliver a few remarks, the mayor, police chief, everybody involved. It just sort of showed the whole community within Garfield and even beyond getting together to really address this issue and do what they can to spread awareness. In Roselle, I believe it was their first year working on this, being part of Knockout Opioid Abuse Day, and on a Saturday morning, they pulled off the pretty difficult feat of getting a bunch of high school students out in the morning and delivering these door hangers, placing them on homes, cars, just throughout the community. The mayor was involved. The Municipal Alliance just did a fantastic job in getting a great group of volunteers out there that morning. South Amboy was another one that I believe the Elks Club was very involved there, and the just some residents who really took the lead in being a part of this. And as Angela mentioned, it's really important for us to hear from you on what has worked over the past few years, because that gives other people great ideas for spreading awareness in their own way. There's just so much here that we can learn from what anybody else does, and just taking this initiative to an even greater audience. As you can see on here, another important aspect of that is press, having that message out there in newspapers, on websites. It's also very important, spreads it more. So just a few examples there. We invite you to share more of them with us, just so we can make this as successful as possible again this year. And thank you so much again for being a part of this.
And to add to what Matt said, we really do want to build on the success. So we encourage you to send over your success stories, your best practices to pdfnj@drugfreenj.org, so we can feature those and share them. A photo, a few sentences describing, what you were able to do, and the great outreach that you had from that is all that we're looking for. If you have any questions about that, you can send me an email. If you're looking, to see exactly what we're looking for, but happy to answer those questions more fully. So as we continue to build on success, we know that we had, as Matt mentioned earlier, a lot of outreach within the communities. We had proclamations that were created within municipalities establishing Knockout Opioid Abuse Day within their community. we had great press coverage, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in detail as we go on. We have the resource for safer prescribing for the doctors, dentists, nurse practitioners within your community. And this year, we're so pleased to be able to offer the opportunity for you to sponsor scholarships, if you wish, for the prescribers in your community to provide 1 hour of safe prescribing knowledge in a webinar for the doctors, dentists, nurses within your community. And there's information in the toolkit on that opportunity. And it's many of you who participated and shared the safe prescribing guidelines. We found here at the partnership office that many prescribers contacted us asking us how they can, adhere to the law in New Jersey that requires 1 hour of mandated education on safe opiate prescribing. So now we have that opportunity for them. And also, if you would like to sponsor some of their education, there's information in the toolkit on how you can do that as well. And we know that prevention and education are pieces of the puzzle that are really significant. We have updated the messaging that is available, and you'll see that thanks to United for Prevention in Passaic County for their help in translation. We have a Spanish version door hanger that's going to be made available to you. We have general information about being part of the solution. We have our newest messaging about 1 in 7 who will be addicted to opioids within a year, the information about Americans who are more likely to die of an opiate overdose in a car crash. And then we also added a fentanyl specific message to this year for the door hangers. So there's a little bit of a variety. We also have some of the would you prescribe heroin to your child messages that you're familiar with from the past. We do have some of those available as well. And so those, again, are to be used to really share information across your communities in any way that you see fit, whether it's these or they'll also be available electronically, and there'll be electronic messages available for use on your websites or for email blasts, for use in social media. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Again, and just to go back to the outreach to prescribers, we'll have the prescriber guides available. We'll also have some additional resources, including that information on how to sponsor education for the prescribers within your community. And that fits into New Jersey's new prescribing law that mandates that education. So that information is all within the toolkit. And of course, as I mentioned when we started, the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse, Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services, and the Coalition for a Safe and Healthy Morris are our partners in this outreach. And so, so pleased that both Barbara Kaufman and Rebecca Alfaro are here with us today to really talk about, what they are hoping the outreach looks like for both municipal alliances, as well as some great ideas that Morris County has as they continue to really take an active role in engaging the entire county on this issue.
Hello, this is Rebecca Alfaro from the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse. And in the past, first of all, we are exceptionally excited about this opportunity again to participate in Knockout Opioid Abuse Day. It's something that we, as Angela mentioned earlier, we have participated in from the very beginning of the webinar. And so we are really excited about how well this has gone and the attention that has continued to be garnered from these efforts, and just the extent of the collaboration that has existed, as well as just the number of people that continue to get involved. It's really tremendous. So the municipal alliances from the beginning of this project have really had a key role in providing information. And as we know, that's one of our CADCA strategies that we use, CADCA being the Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America. One of those strategies is providing information, which is something that the alliances have incorporated into their programming and community outreach efforts. So this is, again, a great opportunity to utilize that strategy to reach out to your community and make sure that it's really, you know, a great day to blanket the community with consistent information. And I think that consistent messaging is important when we talk about this issue. And some of the efforts that have been utilized in the past are the, you know, being able to get these prescriber guides out to pediatric offices that we've talked about, you know, again, looking at, you know, where opioids are being prescribed. And we know oftentimes that pediatricians' offices are prescribing these. So looking at that, looking at dental offices, orthopedic offices, you know, there's a lot of specialty areas that utilize pain medication in their treatment of the issue. So making sure that they get those prescriber guides is exceptionally important. And you know where all of these prescribers are in your community, and hopefully many of you have connections with a lot of these offices. And if not, this is a really great opportunity to build that capacity as well. So connecting with maybe some businesses or doctor's offices that you haven't connected with in the past, this is a great opportunity to, again, build that capacity and look at that. Another area that I think is exceptionally important and something that the research supports is engaging our youth leaders and our youth in this process. So going to the SACs in your schools, the student assistants, counselors, or whoever's responsible for holding those youth groups, religious groups as well, and getting involved in the faith-based community and the youth groups that are involved in a lot of faith-based efforts is really great, because as we saw, as Matt mentioned in Garfield, you know, EPIC is a really active youth group in the schools, and they were able to take part in this project. We'd love to see more of that happening. I know that there are many schools that have similar youth groups that is a great option for them to maybe get involved. So definitely connect with your schools, connect with your SACs. There should be school personnel that are part of your stakeholder group in your municipal alliance committee. Make sure that they are engaged, and really looking at those sectors that are represented at on your alliance, and making sure that they are all engaged in this process, whether it's blanketing the community with those door hangers or, you know, getting those prescriber guides out. This is a really great opportunity. And one other thing I wanted to mention is on September 17th, we have our Volunteer of the Year coming up for our municipal alliances, and we are going to be doing a short training on this very subject while everybody is there. So that's going to be an opportunity for an in-person training. What's that? We will be handing out materials as well, sorry, at that event. So not only will you get some more information, but there will be material distributed at that meeting as well. And then we will be sure to get additional materials out to each and every county. We'll have an opportunity to do that the same week of the week of September 17th. We have another meeting with all of our county alliance coordinators. So for those of you that may not be attending our Volunteer of the Year, please know that your county coordinator will have a set of materials available that you can go to their office and receive that information as well and be able to pick that up. So that's all going to be happening next week. So the materials will be available after, I would say, I'd say, you know, definitely available after next week to be able to pick that material up from your county coordinator. And I'm going to turn it over now to Barbara Kaufman.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, firstly, for being on the webinar and trying to learn more about this really important day, month, however long we want to carry it out. I am Barbara Kaufman. I'm here representing Community Coalition for a Safe and Healthy Morris. Part of my agency, Morris County Prevention is Key. Rebecca said so much of what I wanted to say, so thanks, Rebecca. But I want to thank, of course, the alliances. They are, as Rebecca said, key players in this. And in Morris County, we're lucky enough to have tremendous relationships with our alliances. They are the feet of most initiatives, including Knockout Opioid Abuse Day. We have worked with them all through these 4 years in making contacts with not only community, but with the law enforcement, legislators. We've had all of our key players going to homes and to communities and getting it all out. We have worked with youth, as Rebecca said, through the youth groups and the churches. We've done essay contests about Knockout Opioid Abuse Day. But the new stuff I wanted to talk about this year especially, this will be our second actually annual concert for Knockout Opioid Abuse. I love this because it brings together the whole community to not only learn about the day, but learn about the impact of opioid abuse to get everybody motivated to do something. We are having a special musical performance on October 4th. It really is going to be very much like we've thrown stuff around like Les Mis or Chorus Line, but it will be people impacted by opioid abuse, many people in recovery, sharing their stories through narration and music. Going to be an excellent performance. You'll learn more about it. I'm sending it out to everybody. But the good thing too is that at this event, we will have then all of the materials so that everybody can then take them whenever they want to on October 6th or after that. So please try to learn more about that. We also started something new this year using partnerships. Would you give your child heroin for a sports injury image? We are working with all of the schools and having that image on all of their websites and their newsletters for the month from October through December. So we're going to get word out there, not only to youth and SACs, but to parents too. So I'm hoping that's the first year of many more to come. We're again working with Atlantic Health, especially. They've been tremendous supporters of Knockout Opioid Abuse and help us to get the message out to all of their physicians and also patients within the hospital. They share the messages on their TVs. Of course, all staff of the hospital is aware of it, and they also join us in bringing the message out to community. So I think I hit everything. Friday Night Lights are another big thing that we've done with the community. So anyway, I am told I'm talking too much, but thank you so much, and I will. I'll hope I see you on the 4th. Thank you.
And for those of you in the northern part of the state, thank you, Barbara. For those of you in the northern part of the state, Barbara's also going to be hosting a training in Rockaway at her office on September the 16th. That's next Monday. She'll have materials there to distribute, and we'll go over a little bit more detail the presentation that we're going through now, including some additional information and strategies. But before we talk about the fact that Knockout Abuse Day this year falls on a Sunday, and what that means in terms of our outreach, and also before we talk about kind of what we have seen, and with taking Knockout Opioid Abuse Day on October 6th, but really making it a month-long event. We know that many of you, particularly when Knockout Opioid Abuse Day falls on a weekend, can't generate volunteers, or you have other opportunities that are either on a Friday or on a Tuesday. So really looking at Knockout Opioid Abuse Day throughout the month and what that may look like. And for the past few years, started up in Bergen County, up in Mahwah area specifically, we had the Friday Night Lights sporting event. So Matt's going to talk a little bit about what that was and what that looked like.
Thanks, Angela. Yeah, in the last 2 years, specifically, Bergen County has been doing a great job of bringing this event to high school sporting events, mostly football, but it's really something, a message that can be brought to any sporting event. All right, and here, as you can see in years past, we've done a few things, whether it's handing out materials, we've had students from each school get involved, and as Angela said, that's something that, because of schedules, that's something that doesn't necessarily happen on the 6th every year. So it's turned it into more of a month-long event based on what schools are having their home football games. So we have wristbands that we've handed out to students and parents, the door hangers. We've had helmet stickers made last year that every football player of schools that participated put on their helmet for that evening or that afternoon's game. And what this does, it just brings the message to the players, to the fans coming into the stadium. It's important that, for kids taking part in these, in sports, they are more prone to injuries. They might be more susceptible, there's a better chance that they'll be prescribed opioids. So it's important that their parents, that their teachers, their coaches, they themselves are aware of the opioid epidemic and the dangers of prescription opioids. So we've had success the last 2 years. Last year we had more than 50 schools throughout the state. It really spread from Bergen County, and last year, spread to more counties throughout the state. And that's something that if you communicate with your local athletic director or the SAC at the school, they would, in many cases, they're more than happy to host this as part of one of their home games in late September or October. So that's another avenue where this message can be spread to the people that need to hear it.
Great. Thanks, Matt. And just, I know that not all of you had the opportunity to join in on the call, but I've gotten messages from Passaic County. While we've been doing the webinar, they have messaging that's going to go out in the malls throughout the month. I know that the students in Cherokee High School in Burlington County are going to be out sharing information, and that in Mercer County, school superintendents are looking for ways that they can get involved. So it's all great. Again, I know that so many of you are doing so many great things. I know in Cumberland County, the participation that you've had and the photo opportunities and the media outreach and really your commitment to the issue. So many of you who are with organizations are just working independently. So we just, again, want to be a resource here to help you really get those Knockout Day messages out throughout your community. Matt talked about the Friday Night Lights. I wanted to make mention again that with Knockout Opioid Abuse Day falling on a Sunday, we've included some very specific resources in the media toolkit for faith interaction or faith-based organizations to interact with the Knockout Opioid Abuse Day message throughout the month. You'll find some sample sermons in the toolkit, as well as a resource guide from SAMHSA. We'll be continuing to update that as we get more resources available. If you're having a conference or a meeting and you want to provide one pack of, let's say, door hangers to each attendee. So for example, I know that Camden County Coalition is having a breakfast meeting on October 3rd, and they're really charging all the attendees, just take this one pack of materials. There's 25 door hangers in each. And when you leave here, hand them out, in your neighborhood, hand them out in your workplace, really get and help raise awareness. So if you're having a conference or a meeting, it's really a great way to get that information out. Also, I know some of you are participating in parts of the Knockout Opioid Abuse Town Hall series, and there'll be some of those leading up to Knockout Opioid Abuse Day and immediately following Knockout Opioid Abuse Day. And so again, invite you to participate at that level as well, really giving the, challenging those in attendance to take the message and to take that next step. In the toolkit, you're going to find some website messaging, and we'll go over that a little bit more in detail in the next slide. But just again, collaborating with other organizations within your community. I know in South Amboy, the Municipal Alliance is collaborating with the YMCA, and last year they collaborated with the Elks. I mean, these are really great examples of how to bring people into this conversation who aren't part of it on a regular basis, right? Rebecca talked about building that capacity and, you know, spreading that message throughout the entire community. So bringing in all stakeholders within the community, engaging your police department, engaging your police officers. And I know down in some of the southern communities in the state, there's been really great success with that. I know the sheriffs have been really involved in Morris County and in other places, and even the prosecutor's office has been such a great advocate for Knockout Opioid Abuse Day. So really engaging law enforcement and looking, you know, at different ways to help get that message out. So so we have a media toolkit that's available. It's on the website drugfreenj.org/knockout volunteers. When you go in there, you'll find a number of resources that can be printed, shared, and there are also resources that I mentioned earlier, like the sample sermons or lists of other volunteers within the community. So we spend some time going through that. We'll continue to update it, and we'll be notifying you when we do make those updates, so you know to take a look at some of the new resources available. Including in that will be the presentation that you just participated in. So I'll have a copy of this PowerPoint in there. So if you would like to share it with your coalition or your group, then you know, happy to let you do that. Also, I should mention, I know that the Bergen County Prevention Coalition has offered to house materials in their office for some of the local volunteers and really take that lead for county coordination. If you're interested in being a county coordinator or a community-wide coordinator and would like to have some materials on hand so that people who maybe you haven't connected with already, or maybe you have, they want to be involved, then they contact us here at the partnership, or they contact the Governor's Council, and we can tell them you can get materials and resources locally within your community, and here's the person or organization to connect with. So before we wrap up the call, I want to invite Nicolette Nappy to speak to you for a few minutes. She is our media coordinator, and she is going to be your point person for assisting you with getting media attention to any of the events that you have going on, helping to work with you to enhance your social media presence for Knockout Opioid Abuse Day. So I'm asking Nicolette to please join us and talk a little bit about some of the efforts that you have planned.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Angela. So I'm very excited to be a part of my very first Knockout Opioid Abuse Day in New Jersey. And as Angela mentioned, there are several resources that you can use in the Knockout Opioid Abuse Day toolkit. You'll find a few samples of press releases there that you can use to try to get media coverage at your events. They're very simple. You just need to insert the specific information about your event into the template. And also, please keep me informed, keep me in the loop about what's happening within your community for Knockout Opioid Abuse Day, so that I can try to also get some coverage on our end. We're also encouraging everyone to spread the word about their Knockout Opioid Abuse Day activities on social media. So please post pictures and tag us at Drug Free NJ on our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and use the hashtag Knockout Opioid Abuse. If you have any questions about any of the press release templates or anything social media related, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is Nicolette, NICOLETTE at drugfreenj.org.
Great, thank you. And really, I just want to leave you with the message that we are here to support any activities that you have going on. We appreciate your coordination. We appreciate your efforts. We appreciate your commitment to Knockout Opioid Abuse Day and to raising that awareness, to helping spread the message, to educate. We appreciate all that you do, whether it's just being able to maybe volunteer yourself for an hour or coordinating an entire county We really do appreciate your efforts. And so we're going to end the webinar now. We're going to leave the line open for a few minutes in case someone has a follow-up question that we weren't able to address during this webinar. Once again, I thank you. I wish you a great week. I invite you to reach out to us for any questions or if you need any additional information at all.
Thanks, everyone. If you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. I will unmute you and then I'll call your name and you can go ahead and speak. I'm going to start with the list in front of me. Hold on one second while I see who we have. All right, so I've unmuted someone who has identified themselves as owner. If you had a question, go ahead and ask it. You'll need to either unmute your laptop, desktop, and or turn up the volume on your mobile device. And October 71965. If you have a question, feel free to ask it now. You've been unmuted. Okay, and we are receiving some text messages or we're receiving some chat requests. And I just want to go through those as well. We will, of course, add you to any and all of our email lists here at the partnership regarding Knockout Opioid Abuse Day. And we can also add you to all of our lists regarding any of our other programs for school-based programs, anything in the workplace, or anything involving our outreach to kids and adults in the state of New Jersey. We also have a question from Maureen in Cinnaminson. She wants to know if we have any indication as to who's participating in Burlington County and is there a local coordinator? Great question. I'm going to let Angela handle that.
Hey, Maureen, thanks for joining the initiative. Happy to have you. We do have some coordination in Burlington County, and I will connect you to the coalition that is coordinating one of the outreaches in that area, and hopefully they can help guide you along the way and get you some information and materials.
We have another question from Shireen. She wants to know she would like to know how to collect materials for people in northern New Jersey.
Hey, Shireen, and again, thanks so much. Shireen was really responsible for helping us do our translation, so I appreciate your outreach on that as well. The materials are going to be available here at the Partnership for a Drug Free New Jersey office, or I believe your staff came out to the training that was held in Rockaway last year. Once again, that training is going to be held at 6 p.m. on next Monday, September 16th. And that'll be at the CARES, the Morris County Prevention is Key office in Rockaway.
And I did flyers will be going out.
And following this, we'll send everyone the information about the locations again that were discussed in today's call.
All right, and I see that Vicky had a question. I just want to allow her to ask her question if need be. Let me just unmute Vicky. Hi, Vicky. If you want, please say something or ask a question or give us some feedback as to best practices. All right. And if you want, we're still answering any questions you might have via the chat feature. So go ahead and use that as well. And if we have no other questions, we'll just stay on the line, or we'll keep this webinar open for another few minutes in case something comes up.
Thanks again, everyone. Have a good week.
Hi, Bob. Do you want to ask a question?
Sure. I kind of typed them in the chat. I don't know. Where are we getting the materials at for Camden County? Do we have any volunteers this year? Myself being the coordinator, you can have them email me, robert@cccada.org. They can call our office, 856-427-6553.
Great. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate your participation. And I know I've spoken to Andrea about the outreach about the 3rd. So we'll circle back with both of you so we can make sure that you get those materials as they're, before you need them.
Thank you.
Bob, did you want to go ahead and type all that information into the chat feature just so people can actually have a record of what you just shared with us?
I did. I put it in there at 10:48 a.m. So.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks again.
Okay.
I don't know if Pam Coles, Pam, if you're still on the line. Pam, and we were trying to unreach you, but I'm not sure if you were having a technical issue. Pam is another, she's a partnership volunteer for Knockout Opiate Abuse Day. She's received her materials already and is coordinating for the Friday Night Lights and for a number of schools. Not sure if you're still on the line, Pam. All right, we'll connect at a later time.
The other one was.
Hi, Ashley. I see your question about signing up to be a coordinator in Atlantic County. I know Atlantic Prevention Resources was coordinating as well. So let's connect so we can see how we can divide and separate the county. And then I know Christine Hill is holding a municipal alliance meeting on September 17th at 6 p.m. And there will be materials that are available there. I know that Christine is coordinating with partnership volunteers, Pam Cole and Marge Dana, as well as the Bergen Coalition, Michael Silverman, to get information and materials for everyone in the county. And I know there's a lot of efforts in that community, in that county, to make coordination and collaboration as seamless as possible. And so I thank you guys all for your efforts with that. And if you need, we'll get those details about the training that Christine Hill is doing on the 17th and share them with everyone so that those of you in Bergen County can participate. You can read this. I see a message from Kelly about if we would be willing to mail materials out to anyone who can't attend a training or perhaps get to the office. I don't have any additional information about which region you're in, but perhaps there's a local place that you can pick them up and coordinate them at your convenience. So if you wouldn't mind sending an email over to pdfnj@drugfreenj.org and letting me know exactly where you are and what you're looking for. Oh, sure. And then I see Brian Wilson has a question about proclamations. Brian, we can send you over some of the proclamations, but some of the municipalities have issued proclamations leading up to Knockout Opiate Abuse Day, declaring that they are, part and committed to Knockout Opiate Abuse Day within their municipality. All right.
I did not have September.
All right. I know we have some others who have questions. I don't want to keep everyone's time. I know so many of you have some great examples of some different outreach and different ways that you've used your leaders. I see Alyssa Regney is on the call, and she's been really great in her district and getting her student leaders involved in getting information out, as well as helping last year to coordinate us with, connect us with the Business Improvement District, who really made an outreach to get things out into the local businesses, as well as coordinating some of the Girl Scouts who went out to ShopRite and other grocery stores and put information and did a bagging outreach campaign.
Wow.
So appreciate that. I know Freedom House has also done that with the grocery stores and done bagging and put the inserts in. I know many of you have done it. Those are just the two that come to mind. Before we end, Barbara Kaufman wanted to add one final note.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Again, Barb Kaufman. I love what Angela reminded everybody, that it's not that one day. So we will have materials out. So, my first shout out will be September 19th at a really big event that we're having in Morristown Green. So just want to remind everybody that once you have the materials, hopefully when you pick them up at my place the 16th or at the Chicago meeting on the 17th, we can get them out to people as soon as you can at any event that you have. Obviously it is October 6th. We concentrate on the month of October, but the sooner we get the stuff out there, the better, so that people can then bring them to their communities. I'm going to, as Angela said, they are packed in packs of 25. So I'm just going to have a bunch of them on at the Relay for Recovery on September 19th and have everybody bring them out then. So thanks, just a reminder.
All right, thanks again, everyone. Have a great week, and please don't hesitate to reach out to let us know how we can support your Knockout Opiate Abuse Day efforts.